It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. Happy Friday morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? Yes, you're on again with your girl Shontyce this morning. Come on in the room. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you again this morning. It's not as cold this morning. I don't like the cold. But giving God thanks that whether it's freezing, hot, kind of mild weather, we're on this side of the grave to experience it. Amen. Amen. Now, I've been with y'all all week from shaking the Monday morning blues up until today, up until this morning. Have y'all been on with us? Where have you been all week? Let's do a quick recap. Okay, so Monday, we started with our tips on minding your own business. I have to go and revisit that myself, go look back at the notes. I love that health tip to start us off for the week. Minding your business was focusing on your own life, your own responsibilities, and your own affairs, instead of interfering with other people's life, responsibilities, and affairs, and tending to your own needs and actions. Sorry, I need pull from the back. Okay, we talked about the woman who got attacked in the Macy's in Herald Square, just minutes away from Times Square, right on 34th Street. She was minding her business, brand new baby, brand new mom. Her and her husband took a trip to New York for the very first time. Wanted a quick getaway after having the baby. She takes the baby into the ladies' room to change the baby's pamper, and before she knew it, she was being stabbed in her back. Her arm was slit. Thank God she was able to fight the lady off. But check this out, y'all. The lady had just left a psychiatric hospital that morning. Went to Macy's, bought the knife in Macy's. She purchased the knife in Macy's. Walked in the restroom and attacked this woman. You have to go back and watch to get more details. It was sick. Then we spoke about the Brooklyn mass shooting, where at a Sweet 16, teenagers are inside partying, having a great time. They leave, go outside. I guess everyone's saying their goodbyes for the night. When there was a shootout, 6 teens were injured. No fatalities, thank God. They did not say whether or not one of the injured teens was the birthday girl or not. But unfortunately, this was something that they had to experience. The 2 assailants were caught on surveillance footage wearing surgical masks. I guess that's the new get up wardrobe for criminals now. I don't know. Then we spoke about the man who punched the 73-year-old woman in the face on the subway elevator. And when they saw the surveillance, when authorities got a hold of the surveillance, he was walking with a cane. So we didn't understand what was happening. How you had the energy, the thought to physically attack and harm anyone. And you couldn't even flee the scene as quick as you may have needed to. Because you have a cane. I don't know. But we went into our relationship topic and we spoke about the relationship that we have with ourselves. Do I like me? Do I love me? Do you? We touched on some really important tips with the men. So you have to go back and watch. Then we moseyed on into Let's Talk About a Tuesday Church Folk Day, where we were on conversing with the pastors, Pastor Vinny and Pastor KL. We started with our health tip on how to protect your skin in this cold, brittle weather. We have all different skin tones, skin types, and we touched on multiple. So make sure you go back. The key one was buying protective gear, scarves, hats, gloves, the best way to protect your skin. Okay. News-wise, we spoke about the minimum wage rise, how they're giving in the state of New York, they're giving employees raises in 50-cent increments. So it was $15 an hour 2 years ago. Then it went to $15.50, then $16. As of 2026, God spares, the new calendar year, the minimum wage will go up to $17 per hour. So we had our thoughts on whether we felt like they could have done better or not. Then we had a viewer submitted story where they spoke about the mom who died from suicide, or at least that's what it looked like when the daughter, the teenage daughter, found her underneath the second story window of their home, only to find out that the son killed the mom, pushed her out the window, but after he smothered her somehow. And he was really feeling some type of way because she was divorcing his abusive father. They were from Syria, and the mother started to become extremely liberated. You couldn't tell her she couldn't work. You couldn't tell her she couldn't go to school. She started wearing her hijab. That's how you pronounce it, right? Hijab. She stopped wearing that. So she wasn't as submissive as the husband would have liked her to be. She started moving on with her life, and I guess the son just couldn't take it. Okay, then we spoke about FBI Director Cash Patel, who has been having some serious Twitter fingers, getting on Twitter and speaking on cases that they haven't even started investigating yet, talking about suspects who are not really a person of interest. After doing further investigating, they've had to release said suspects because they arrest the wrong person. He's been doing too much, so they've been trying to either force him to resign or fire him. How do we have time to do this as an FBI agent? No, I'm sorry, the head of the FBI administration. Who knows? Then we got into our Wow Wednesday, where we had our socially conscious segment with our girl Vivian, and she spoke about the decrease in the speed limit as of 2026. It will go from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour in areas where there is high pedestrian and cyclist activity, traffic. Okay, she spoke about those affordable, should we say, unaffordable homes, where out of every 4 homes, only 1 home is labeled as reasonable financially. These families can afford the homes. In states like, in cities like New York City, San Francisco, Seattle, you have to be averaging at least $200,000 a year to buy a basic home. Then Vivian brought us the news about UPS having this lawsuit against them because they have been neglecting to pay wages to their employees, who they are asking to come in early, stay late, and the employees have not been taking breaks without according to their paycheck, because when they go look at their paycheck, it says that there's been money deducted from breaks. And UPS is not the only company, but you got to go back and watch to see what other companies are doing the same thing as well. And then she told us about the 29-year-old DoorDash driver in Indiana who was caught on surveillance spraying the people's food with pepper spray. Did they take her off out of their system? They got to go back. Yesterday was Therapeutic Thursday, and we started talking about our health in connection with boxing. Yes, boxing is sport, our spiritual health. How can that be connected to boxing? Oh, great tips. You have to go back. You have to go back to get those tips. Spoke about the spike in the flu, hospitalizations. A few schools have had to be closed in the state of New York. What have they been saying has been causing the spike? What? Oh, the 60-year-old Brooklyn pastor who pleaded guilty to $3 million embezzlement of the church and the church's daycare finances. We were able to have some really, really, really good conversations based on this news content. So y'all have to make sure you go back And we spoke about New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who is signing the bill for terminally ill patients to have the ability to commit medical suicide. They have to go through all these steps. If you've been diagnosed or only have 6 months to live, you can now phone a friend or tell a friend, DM a friend, to email a friend to come and sign this waiver with you to make sure you're not being coerced, and you can take said meds to end your life so that you can end your life on your terms. You gotta go back. You gotta go back. Thought-provoking conversations based on this news content. And today is Freestyle Friday, where we do whatever we want. This is my favorite day of the week. I love every single day. Shaking the Monday Morning Blues. Let's talk about a Tuesday Church Folk Day. Wow, Wednesday, Therapeutic Thursday. But we are talking about celebrity news on today and whatever other topics that are relevant that comes up. And we get to do that with the Due Time Men on Fridays. So make sure you phone a friend to tell a friend that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. But whatever you do, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Otis Boykin's mother died of heart failure when he was 1 year old. This tragedy would drive him to save millions of lives. Born in Dallas, 1920, graduated valedictorian, earned a scholarship to Fisk University, but had to drop out of graduate school because his family couldn't afford tuition. So he started inventing. 1959, Boykin created improved electrical resistors, tiny components that control electrical flow. Sounds boring? Think again. IBM immediately started using them in computers. The U.S. military put them in guided missiles. His resistors made electronics cheaper and more reliable. But here's the incredible part. In 1964, Boykin invented the control unit that made modern pacemakers possible. The boy whose mother died of heart failure created the technology that regulates heartbeats. 1968, President Eisenhower has a heart attack. The pacemaker that saves his life uses Otis Boykin's technology. By the time Boykin died in 1982, ironically of heart failure, his inventions had saved countless lives. Every computer, every smartphone, every pacemaker
Good morning, good morning. We are back. You're watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and we are here yet again at the end of the week. Thanking God for blessing us with such a thought-provoking, relaxing, peaceful week. Did you enjoy your week? I enjoyed my week. This week taught me a whole lot about myself and a few other different things, and all the conversations we were able to have with each other to get our morning started off right was amazing. Okay, I hope everyone is paying attention to these PSAs because they are so informative. Gives us a lot to think about. All right, so it is Freestyle Friday, where we always start off with some celebrity trivia. And this morning, one of the things I thought about, I don't know about anyone else, but I grew up being a movie buff, a movie lover, pretty much living at the movie theaters. And I was thinking about the different actors and actresses who have contributed to box office history. How many of them have? If you could think of any celebrities, any actors and actresses that have been in movies that have helped to catapult box office sales, break box office sales. Make sure you put it in the chat. Okay, so who we got here? We got first one, highest grossing and established star, Samuel L. Jackson. Who doesn't know Samuel L. Jackson? He got his start, I believe it was in Jungle Fever, the Spike Lee movie. He played the crackhead alongside Halle Berry. And that was Halle Berry's first movie. They were amazing. They were amazing together. They were amazing in those roles. And they also played together in Losing Isaiah, where she was a recovering drug addict. And Samuel L. Jackson played her lawyer who helped her get her son back, helped her get Isaiah back. I love being able to see actors and actresses like work together on multiple projects, especially when the characters switch up. I love it. I love it. I love it. If it sounds like I'm yelling, I'm sorry. The music on this end is going, so I have to make sure that I'm up there with you. But yes, highest grossing established stars. First one, Samuel L. Jackson. Give me your favorite Samuel L. Jackson movie, your favorite Samuel L. Jackson character. He's played in Juice. He played the guy who ran the arcade where all the kids would go to cut school every day. Samuel L. Jackson, Snakes on a Plane. Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction. Samuel L. Jackson. A Time to Kill. Oh my goodness. Opposite Sandra Bullock and Matthew McConaughey. Amazing film. Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my goodness. Oh, Strictly Business. Loved him in it. Samuel L. Jackson. Where else is Samuel L. Jackson playing? He played in so many movies. He played in 187. Remember, he was the teacher who got stabbed up, attacked by the student. I think of another Samuel L. Jackson movie off the top of my head. He's played it a lot. I can't think of anything else right now. He's a Capital One guy now. And him and his wife, I remember doing a story on here one Freestyle Friday, and him and his wife were celebrating their wedding anniversary. They've been together for years. She held out and stuck it out with him. She believed in him, and look at the fruits of his labor. He is just amazing, amazing. Who else do they have on here? Highest grossing and established stars, Denzel Washington. Are we surprised? And we were speaking on here one morning about who we felt was a little better than the other. When you talk about Samuel L. Jackson, when you speak about Denzel Washington, two very impactful, phenomenal actors. They are, you can't mess with them. If I had to choose, I would choose Samuel L. Jackson. But I love Denzel Washington. We have a check-in from Lady Tamika. Good morning. Yes, it's a great day to be alive. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Tevin says Samuel L. Jackson was in Batman. He was? Which Batman? I love Batman. Which Batman was Samuel L. Jackson? Let me know, Terrence. Which one was he in? Okay, Denzel Washington. Who we talking about with Denzel Washington? What movie was Training Day? That's the movie he won the Oscar for. Denzel Washington, More Better Blues, the Spike Lee joint. Denzel Washington. Oh my goodness, Ricochet. Y'all remember that movie? I think that came out like 92. 92. Denzel Washington, Malcolm X. Denzel Washington. He Got Game. I hated that movie. I could not stand another Spike Lee joint. I could not stand He Got Game. Denzel Washington, Out of Time, Opposite Sanaa Lathan. Denzel Washington. Yes, Lady Tamika. Denzel Washington, Equalizer. Y'all know the Equalizer trilogy. I love Equalizer trilogy. 1 was good. 2 I like. 3 I love. That was actually a sequel where as they were going on, I loved the one better than the previous one, but they were all good. They were all good. Tevin says Pulp Fiction. Yes, we mentioned Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction. Give me a couple of more Denzel Washington joints. Denzel Washington. What's the movie he played in with Viola Davis? Fences. Fences. Tevin says Flight was my joint. Yeah, that's when he was the pilot, right? And they thought that he had coerced the accident or something. Denzel Washington, yes. Lady Tamika says American Gangster. Yes, I have to actually sit. I never finished watching that movie, but I heard it was really, really good. So Denzel Washington Flight, Denzel Washington American Gangster. Yes. Ooh, Lady Tamika, you stepping up on your movie game. I remember before. You stepping up, you stepping out. Yes. Oh, okay. They're giving us a few more. All right. Highest gross and established stars, Morgan Freeman. Lady Tamika says Pelican Brief. I never heard of that one. That's a Denzel Washington movie. Tevin says Book of Eli. Yes. Was that good? I never watched that. Denzel Washington, Book of Eli. Okay. Okay. Never watched that. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman, Lean on Me. Morgan Freeman, Olympus and London Has Fallen. And Angel Has Fallen. I love those. I love that trilogy. Morgan Freeman, Driving Miss Daisy. Morgan Freeman, Lean on Me. Morgan Freeman. Give me another. What's the thing when he was the cop trying to catch a serial killer? How to Catch a Spider. And there was another one. There was another one. Give me some Morgan Freeman. Some Morgan Freemans, you guys. I loved him in Lean on Me. I loved him in Lean on Me. That was my favorite role that Morgan Freeman played. Who else are they giving us? Jamie Foxx. I love me some Jamie Foxx. I will sit and watch the Jamie Foxx show over and over and over and over again. Jamie Foxx, The Piano. Wasn't he in The Piano? Jamie Foxx, Miami Vice. Jamie Foxx. Oh my goodness, if the movie is right there. All right, Terrence is saying, wait, yes, he was in Batman, Morgan Freeman. Which Batman are you you said, who else you said was in Batman? I don't remember. Samuel L. Jackson. Now you say Morgan Freeman was in Batman. Did I miss a few Batmans? I don't know. We have a check-in for my girl, Vivian. Good morning, Vivian. I know you're happy. You out there on your way to work and it is not freezing. Amen. Amen. What Batmans are you talking about? Terrence? All right. Come on, give me a couple more Jamie Foxx movie. Jamie Foxx. What's the movie? The name of the movie with him and Michael B. Jordan. I just watched it again a few weeks ago. I love that movie. I love that movie. When he was wrongfully accused of murdering the young white girl. Lady Tamika says The Morgan Rise. Okay, with Morgan Freeman. Never heard of that one. Okay, might have to check that out. Jamie Foxx movies, y'all. Jamie Foxx. Oh, what's the one he played with Collateral? Jamie Foxx, Collateral. With him and Jada Pinkett and what's the other actor's name? The popular actor. I forgot. He had a blonde wig in that movie. Jamie Foxx is a phenomenal actor. Okay, so Tevin says Batman Begins, Morgan Freeman was in. Okay, now I remember. Yes, he was. He was. Okay, I did see that one. I saw that one. Okay, next actor they're giving us is Forrest Whitaker. I'm a Forrest Whitaker fan. Forrest Whitaker, The Butler. Forrest Whitaker. So I'll be knowing the movies and we're not gonna be put on spot. Okay, Forrest Whitaker. Rebound. Y'all saw Rebound? I love Rebound. When Forrest Whitaker was in there, he played Rucker. Rucker Park in Harlem. He played Rucker opposite Don Cheadle. I love Don Cheadle. Oh my goodness. I love Don Cheadle. Oh, Lady Tamika said Django. Yes, I was actually forced to watch Django. I refused. That had Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson in it. I initially refused to watch that movie. I was forced to watch Django, and I actually enjoyed it. Also starring Kerry Washington. Yes. Law-abiding citizen, Jamie Foxx. Yes, I love that movie. And that stars the guy who starred in Olympus, London, and Angel Has Fallen. I forgot his name. But yes, love Law-abiding citizen. Jamie Foxx played the lawyer. Yes, Lady Tamika, The Crying Game, Forrest Whitaker. Okay, he was in that? I know that's an oldie. That's a real throwback. Okay, if we do a couple of more. They have Sidney Poitier. They didn't give any actresses. Let me see if I can post. Sidney Poitier is mainly for 60s, right? He starred in a lot of movies in the 60s and 70s. Sidney Poitier did a lot of movies, I believe, in the 70s with Bill Cosby too, right? Someone says Godfather of Harlem, that was good. Forrest Whitaker, yes, and I have to go back. I did not watch that when it was originally airing, and Pastor Steph kept telling me, Shontyce, you have to watch Godfather of Harlem. I finally started watching it last year. I was glued to the screen. I got sidetracked, and I gotta go back to it. I have to go back to it. Yes, Forrest Whitaker and Godfather of Harlem. That series is so good. Yes, it's streaming on Disney and something else. But pull it up. They'll be able to tell you. They'll be able to tell you. Really quick, before we get into our celebrity news, I wanted to see if I can pull up some actresses. Let's see. Viola Davis, of course. Viola Davis fences opposite, along with Denzel Washington. Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder. Viola Davis, what's the name of that movie she played? It was Jennifer Lopez. That movie was sick. That movie was sick. Oh my gosh. Okay, give me some Viola Davis movies. She's played in a lot, but the names are not coming to mind right now. We have Zoe Saldana over here. They say she's the first actress with 4 films over $2 billion worldwide. Oh, for Avatar. Okay, the Avatar franchise and the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Okay, I know Zoe Saldana. She played in Drumline with Nick Cannon, the love interest of Nick Cannon. Yes, Viola Davis, The Help. Yes, with Forrest Whitaker. Yes, duh, Shontyce. Yes, Woman King. I was forced to watch that. I wasn't interested. And I actually loved it. Yes, Viola Davis did her thing. And she put me to shame because I'm like, if this woman at her age can be that athletic for this role, I felt the same way when I watched Halle Berry play in Bruce when she played the boxer. I felt the same way when I watched Jennifer Lopez play in Hustlers when she was the stripper and she had to do all those tricks on the pole. These women are older than me. I gotta get it together physically. I gotta get it together. Lady Tamika says the first lady, Viola Davis. Yes, thank you. Yes, so Zoe Saldana. Kudos. I didn't know she had those credentials under her belt. They're saying Whoopi Goldberg. I love Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost. I love Ghost. Oh, yeah. Terrence, G20. See, this is why I need your help. Thank you. G20 was so on point. G20 also starring Anthony Anderson. And what's the young lady's name? She's the first youngest Black film executive. She played it Grownish, Blackish, one of those issues. That movie was dope. That movie was G20. No one had to force me to watch that. I was interested in that movie. Viola Davis was phenomenal. She played the president. Lady Tamika says you're working my movie muscles. Yes, we have to. Listen, I'm a movie buff. And I feel like I've been slacking. I got to get back. You know, I can't allow the circumstances of the world to take me away from how I grew up and my love for movies. You know, I just got to figure out how to recreate redesign my movie life, my movie lifestyle in this era now that we don't have movie theaters like that anymore. Okay, we got Angela Bassett. I love me some Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, what's love got to do with it? Angela Bassett, Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy, John Witherspoon, and Kadeem Hardison. Love that movie. Angela Bassett, Waiting to Exhale. Angela Bassett. She followed behind Jennifer Lewis also. Y'all know Jennifer Lewis. She was she's Hollywood Black mama. She played everybody's mama. She played Tupac's mama in Poetic Justice. She played Angela Bassett's mother, Tina Turner's mother, and What's Love Got to Do with It. She plays in Blackish. Don't she play somebody's mother in Blackish? She plays everybody's mama, and Angela Bassett followed along. Angela Bassett played Michael Jackson's mama in the epic TV movie of the Jacksons. Yes. Yes. Love Angela Bassett. Give me some other Angela Bassett movies. Yes, Whoopi Goldberg, Eddie. I actually really loved Eddie. I loved Eddie. Let's see. Viola Davis, Custody. Yes. Antoine Fisher, Viola Davis. Whoopi Goldberg, Sister Act. Yeah, this was be coming out with Part 3. Yes, duh. Angela Bassett, Black Panther. Yes. Angela Bassett, How Stella Got a Groove Back. Yes, and Wayne Takes Care. We'll never forget her burning the clothes in the car, in the Mercedes. Okay. Woo. I want to do one more? Let's do one more. You can do one more, right? Okay. Let's see here. Who else they giving us? Taraji P. Oh no, we gotta do these last two. Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson. Yes, Ketty, what's love got to do with it? Angela Bassett. Taraji P. Henson, Baby Boy. And you know what's crazy? Going back and rewatching a lot of 90s sitcoms like Sister Sister, The Parenthood, with Robert Townsend and Suzanne Douglas, who we lost her a few years ago. Taraji P. Henson played the friend that didn't really have many lines in a few episodes of these shows. And Sister Sister, she had very few lines. In Parenthood, she didn't have any lines. And look at her career now. You can't turn on anything and not see Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson, Baby Boy. Taraji P. Henson, the remake of The Color Purple. Taraji P. Henson, Straw. Did y'all see Straw? Netflix's Straw by Tyler Perry on Netflix. Crazy. Taraji P. Henson, Hustle and Flow. Taraji P. Henson, No Good Deed, Along Idris Elba. Taraji P. Henson, Think Like a Man and Think Like a Man Too. Taraji P. Henson. When I say Taraji P., what comes to mind is Hidden Figures. Yes, Hidden Figures. Taraji P. Henson, Empire. Yes, she was amazing on Empire before they went down. Her and Terrence Howard, amazing. Yes, her career really took off. Yes, Taraji P. Henson, Acrimony. Taraji P. Henson, she was in The Karate Kid? Wow, I didn't watch it. Yeah, she was great in Acrimony. Yes. Let's do one more. Regina Hall. Y'all know Regina Hall. I love me some Regina Hall. She played the stripper in The Best Man who ended up marrying Murch. The quiet one. Yes, Regina Hall, Best Man, Regina Hall. What was the movie with her and Michael Ealy and Kevin Hart and Joy Bryant, I think her name is. The Last Night or something like that. Taraji. Regina Hall, Scary Movie. Remember she played Scary Movie? She played Shawn Wayne's girlfriend. Silly. Her comedic side is crazy. Regina Hall, Paid in Full. Paid in Full, along with Wood Harris. I love me some Wood Harris. And Mekhi Phifer. I love me some Mekhi Phifer. Yes, Regina Hall, Girls Trip, along with Tiffany Haddish and Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah. Yes. Give me another Regina Hall movie. Regina Hall. Yes, Little. Oh my goodness. When I finally sat and watched Little, again, her comedic side is amazing. Master. I'm not sure if I heard. About Last Night. Thank you. That's the name of the movie with her and Kevin Hart, Michael Ealy, and Joy Bryant. About Last Night. Master I never really heard of. Yes, Regina Hall, Best Man Holidays, and the Best Man Last Chapters. Did y'all see that on Peacock? I wasn't too big of a fan of that. They should just get another movie and call it a day. That series ending the Best Man franchise was, in my opinion, it was not it. It was not it. Okay, well, we actually have our men on this morning who are into the arts and into performance. So we will definitely be able to tap into them and see what they think. Okay? All right, let's tap into our news. Has some celebrity news I was able to retrieve. Wasn't all that interesting, but then again was a little interesting. So, since he loves acting like a celebrity, we're going to talk about him real quick. So you got Trump, and he is gun-ho about defending his criticism of Rob Reiner. Y'all know the guy who played in All in the Family. Unfortunately, him and his wife was fatally murdered this week by their son. And Trump has been finding the need to defend himself against the quote-unquote criticisms of Rob Reiner. Okay, so this whole situation was just beyond tragic. So Reiner, again, y'all know All in the Family. That's actually, which show was a spinoff from that? It wasn't Good Times. Good Times was a spinoff from the 70s shows Maude. One of those shows. He was the son-in-law to Archie Bunker. And after that, he became a really, really impactful Hollywood director. He directed a lot of the shows that we still watch today. And him and his wife, Michelle, they were found dead in their LA home this past Sunday. And they've arrested their son, Nick, on suspicion of their murder. It was crazy because so many different things have been coming out, of course, now after people pass away. Now it's like, oh, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. So Rob Reiner reportedly said that he was really scared of his son, Nick, and he was scared that his son was going to hurt him. And I heard something else where the mom, the wife, was saying the same thing. Like she was a little guarded about their son being around them. And he was actually staying on their property in the guest home. So, a lot of times these celebrities, they have their home and they don't just have a guest room, they have a whole mini guest house. That's where the son was staying. So President Trump repeated his criticism about Reiner despite this horrific ordeal. From what I read in another article, they're saying that the couple was brutally stabbed. The son stabbed them to death. I believe he was almost 80 and the wife was in her 70s. So Trump is saying after his earlier remarks about the slain Hollywood director, who he says is a longtime Trump critic, he's been speaking a whole lot of condemnation about the actor. Now, this man just lost his life, him and his wife, brutally. Whether he died from natural causes or whether he died from a murder, the man passed. But what makes it worse is how he passed. And our lovely president, who loves to move as if he's a celebrity, he told some reporters that the director was, quote unquote, very bad for our country. And he wrote somewhere earlier with the Truth. He wrote on the Truth Social that Reiner, his death was linked to Trump derangement syndrome. So according to Donald Trump, Trump derangement syndrome is a term he uses for people who speak against him. So what he's saying is this man died. He was fatally stabbed. And see, so many things makes this worse. The way he died and who he is. Listen, whether he was a celebrity or a regular everyday citizen, this is still a life. This is still a person. This is still one of God's creations. Okay? But what makes it worse is that he was such a prominent figure in Hollywood. Upstanding. There's been no tabloid news about him. No scandal. No nothing. He was an actor, then he started working on the opposite side of the camera, did a phenomenal job with that. Staple shows like he had under his belt, and all you gotta worry about, you're supposed to be running the country, but now you got time to not only be on Twitter and other social media and figuring out who you can ban from performing where and all of this, but now you've come up with the term Trump derangement syndrome. So anyone who speaks against you, they reportedly have this syndrome. So there's no motive as to why the son killed his parents. And there's no proof that this murder has anything to do with this guy. But because he likes to be a celebrity, of course, he's going to make it about him. So what information I come across was Rob Rayner, he was a Democrat and a liberal activist. And he did speak a lot against Trump. Back in 2017, he called Trump mentally unfit for office. And just this past October, he believed that Trump was ushering in an age of full-on autocracy for the U.S. So again, in his social media post, he called the couple's death very sad. He also criticized Rob Rayner, saying, quote, he was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of me. Sir, the man is dead. He's dead. What are you talking about? Okay, yes. Thank you, Lady Tamika. The Jeffersons. Okay, yes. The Jeffersons was a spinoff from the 70s sitcom All in the Family, where Rob Rayner starred as the son-in-law. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor KL. Yes. Good morning, Pastor KL. How are you? Oh, so there's a representative, a Republican representative. He's been getting a whole lot of backlash because of this. Trump has been getting a whole lot of backlash because he just can't seem to shut up. And one of the Republican representatives stated, quote, regardless of how you felt about Rob Rayner, this is inappropriate and disrespectful. This is an inappropriate and disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered. So they're saying shortly after Trump made these social media posts repeating his thoughts on the actor and director Rob Rayner, he then went to a press conference in the White House and calling the actor/director a deranged person who was partly behind previous claims of collusion between Russia and his team. How do we make this about you? This man was just fatally murdered. Brutally murdered, along with his wife. They were found dead in their home at the hands of their son. And you talking about you? Even if he did say some things he didn't like about you, is he lying? You know, we got to be real careful about wanting to be in the spotlight. Because you so dumb to you stupid. This makes absolutely no sense at all. Well, talk about people who want to make themselves popular. I'm sure you heard of the Brown University shooting that took place just the other day, where 2 students were killed and 9 students were injured during the school shooting on Rhode Island. It was Rhode Island campus. And they were searching for the shooter frantically. Now this took place in the schools where they said, hold on, because you know each school has like different departments, in the Barris and Holly Engineering Building during final exams. So these students were in the classroom taking their exam in a study session, and the shooter just made his way in there and started shooting. They did have a person of interest in custody. He was a 24-year-old man, but then he was later released because they couldn't find anything on him. They were able to obtain photos and videos of another person, someone who looked a little stocky, just like this person here in the photo. And of course, the suspected gunman that they were looking for was found dead in New Hampshire on Thursday night. Why? This is why I be telling people that you're not really about that life. You allow the enemy to influence you to do the things he already sees is playing on your mind. And because you can't really handle the consequences, you don't want to face what you did. Now you take yourself out. Why? So now there's no justice here on earth. Because God gonna get his justice. There's no justice here on earth that can take place. So the suspect, 48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valenti, who is a former student of that same university that he shot up. He came here to the United States back in 2017, where he received a green card through a visa lottery program from the Secretary of Homeland Security. So Secretary of Homeland Security has a program where you get the visa lottery, where a lot of migrants were able to migrate to the U.S. through that program. So it's been directed that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is part of DHS, they've been advised to pause that same program that he was able to come over to the U.S. on due to this incident. They're saying that this suspect is of Portuguese nationality. And he's also believed to be responsible for the shooting death of an MIT professor 2 days after he did this. So he did this school shooting at Brown University in Rhode Island on Sunday. They're saying they believe that 2 days later, he made his way to Massachusetts, and killed a professor at MIT. They're saying that he previously attended the same school as that professor as well between the years of 95 and 2000. So you went to Brown, you shot up Brown. Then they're suspecting that you went to the same school as the professor you shot 2 days ago. Did you feel like they didn't teach you properly? Is this what we do when we feel like the school system has failed us? Is this what happens? This is crazy. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, so we're going to get a little lighter here. Just a little bit. So we spoke about boxing yesterday morning, right? Spoke about the connection between your faith in God, your walk in God, and the connection between those tactics and boxing as the sport. Well, there's a whole lot going on right now in the boxing world. Boxer Bud Crawford is being sued by a jeweler because allegedly he blew off a promotion deal. So real quick, let's get into this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. His name is Terrence Crawford. Where did I get that other name? Okay. Okay, so they're saying that he just recently retired, but right after that, now he has to deal with all these legalities within this lawsuit that a jeweler has against him. So this lawsuit was just recently filed with a 38-year-old boxer, 38-year-old Crawford. He went to Mazza in New York, which is a popular jewelry store. He went there back in February of last year, and he wanted to get some custom pendants for him and his team. So he went to the store. He saw a piece he was really interested in. The piece cost about $140,000. Now, okay, whatever. $140,000. He was willing to pay for this pendant. Now, I'm pretty sure that wasn't for someone on his team. That was for him, but either way, that's a whole lot of money for just one piece. All right, so Patek Philippe Aquanet, that's the name of the piece. So he was going to pay for it flat out, but rather than buying it flat out, the store owner said that the boxer that Crawford suggested he pay only $35,000 instead of $140,000, and the rest of the money would be covered in the box of promoting the jewelry store during his fight. So the agreement was, okay, this pendant costs $140,000. All right, fine. Pay $35,000 and you promote me. So instead of you giving me the money, the rest of the money for the pendant, it's almost like I'm paying you to promote me. And the deal was that he was supposed to brand his boxers with the jewelry store name. So while he's fighting, everyone can see the jewelry store name, which is pretty a really good promotional tactic. So the jewelry store owner says that he agreed, Crawford agreed. However, when he had the fight back in August of last year against Israel Madrimov, I think that's the one we watched. That is the one we ended up watching. The logo wasn't on the shorts. Oh no, I'm sorry. He said that the logo fell off the shorts by the 4th round. Well, how? You didn't even safety pin it on? Now they got, listen, we all know how these boxer shorts look. They got the high waist band. The band is about this thick, where you can write some words on it and it be legible. Like you can read it. Whether you're there in person or whether you're looking from home to the cameras, you can see it. So Mazda claims that Crawford and the representatives acknowledged that they did not fulfill the agreement and they promised to make it up in the next fight. So, okay, your name fell off my boxes. The next fight, I'll do it. The jeweler delivered a patch with the jeweler's logo on it to Crawford before the next match. But was told that he wasn't going to wear it. No explanation, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So he says, by allegedly blowing off the agreement, the jewelry store says his business was deprived of an opportunity to elevate his brand, saying that he missed out on about $1.5 million worth of promotion. And that's exactly how much the lawsuit is for, at minimum. In addition, he's saying in addition to other damages. I don't know what the other damage is. I don't know if you charge him for the patch that fell off. I don't know. But if the pendant costs $140,000 and you only charged me $35,000, how are you suing for $1.5 million? I guess you trying to like rack up all the money. You can't rack up the money that you knew you were going to make because you got different pieces of jewelry for different prices. So the difference between that was $105,000. So if you were going to sue for that, I can understand that. But $1.5 million plus damages, what are the damages? Well, listen, I'm a brand owner. I'm a clothing brand owner. For some reason, it is difficult to get people to tag you. You give them free merchandise. You ask them to tag you. You know what? I'll give you this shirt for free. I'll give you these sweats for free. I told someone, yo, I'll brand your whole outfit. It was a sweatpants with matching t-shirt. Branded it for him and looked dope. I said, just promote me. He posted me once. I did this for free and you post me once. It's like pulling teeth. So if I know that and I'm indie, you're a popular jewelry, you're a mainstream jewelry brand owner. It is like pulling teeth to even get them to at you on Instagram. So I don't know. Terrence says, to me, it doesn't matter if it fell off the shorts or not. He's still upholding his side. It fell off in the 4th round. He still had it on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. He did, but I mean, let's be for real, Terrence. You allowed him to slide with $105,000. You could have had that embroidered on. You could have had that embroidered on your shorts. That part is like, okay, come on, because this is now a job. When you agree to promote someone, you pretty much got paid to do this. He could have sent it to me. I'll do embroidery. Send it to me. Someone says you need a good looking man like me to. You know what? Bye. What is wrong with you? Lady Tamika says, how do you estimate the price in time? I'm sorry, but my math don't be mathing. That's the question I had. I didn't quite understand that part, but I don't know. That's what I said. What's the lowest damaging? You're already suing for way more than what the remaining balance of the pendant was. I don't know. Let's see what our men are thinking. We had Brother Al come on. Are you there, Brother Al? There, Brother Al. Okay, let's pull up our Brother Al. Good morning.
Chop of the morning.
How are you?
Everything is everything on this nice, rainy, beautiful day.
Yes, raining nasty outside, but it's not as cold. It's like, ugh. Okay, so we traded the freezing weather for the rain, but I'd rather that because I hate being outside. It's freezing, windy, and raining. It's like, okay, God, you're going to have to pick a side. Which one you want it to be? Can be everything.
Oh, yeah.
So we started this morning, Brother Al, as you are an actor, you're in the arts, you know what it is for the film, the stage industry. We were talking about box office breaking actors and actresses, and they gave us names like Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, Regina Hall, Forrest Whitaker. Who is an actor or actress that played in a movie that you can remember that just broke the box office records at one point?
Oh man, I love all of them guys, but my favorite is Denzel Washington. He always been my favorite actor.
Ooh. What's your favorite movie that he played in?
Man, I would have to say, Malcolm X. I think he did a phenomenal job. I mean, all his movies is great, but Malcolm X, that's the movie he should have got the award for. They had to let him be a thug to get that award.
But remember, it was a whole controversy about that because they said it wasn't until he played that crooked, nasty cop that he got the Oscar. It wasn't until Halle Berry, all the roles she played before Monsters Ball. Yeah. And Monsters Ball, in my opinion, wasn't all that bang up of a movie, but then she got an Oscar for that because of all the nudity and, the explicit scenes. It was a lot of controversy behind those two.
And you see, but what happened, what they don't understand is that, especially with us black actors, they portray us as black folk as one way anyway. So when they put us in those roles and do that, then it's like, oh, okay, they did a great job being there. So it's crazy. There's something.
Absolutely.
Something else that stuck for me. I was watching when he was talking about it. He said that, you have to set your boundaries. You have to set your standard. Some people, they so desperate to get in there. Yeah, I'll do it. Like a lot of people don't know at Monsters Ball, they asked Angela Bassett to do that.
Yes. I just found that out.
She was like, oh, no, sir.
Yes. I just found that out a few months ago. I was like, wow, she was up for the role. And like you said, when she read those sex scenes they had in there, she was like, yeah, no, I'm not about to do this. And when we think about all of the movies she's played in, she's never had an explicit role, like an explicit role or explicit scenes.
Well, I think she had one, and
what got to do with it?
Well, that one, and also oh man, what's that word? Stella. The girl when she had the shower scene with what's the name?
Oh, okay, with Tay Diggs.
Yeah, but which still wasn't like crazy, but
Yeah, it wasn't no Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't no. Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball had me said, okay, y'all did something real. wait a minute.
Right? Y'all can't tell us either that wasn't real or somebody can go somewhere and finish. Those scenes be way too intense and too close.
Oh yeah.
Way too close. Okay, wait, we have a few check-in. Good morning, Anika. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning, Pastor Steph. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh yeah, I got my real movie buffs in the house now. Pastor Steph says Halle Berry. Okay, so Pastor Steph is saying Halle Berry was one of the record-breaking actresses, box office. I mean, she is, but is that what you're saying? Anika says, yeah, Training Day. Absolutely, for Denzel Washington. Has a Steph said Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. Yes, he really set the tone for that was Marvel, right? Was that Marvel?
Yeah.
Black Panther's Marvel.
You know what? What's so crazy though? When they talk about Chadwick, right? I think he was a phenomenal actor. Whenever you hear his name, you hear Black Panther. Nobody talks about the phenomenal job he did with James Brown. Oh my God. He killed that. He killed James Brown.
Yes. Yeah, no, he did. And I didn't finish watching it, but I finally started it and I got, I think, to where it was the middle. And for some reason, I just wasn't interested. Maybe because I wasn't interested in James Brown's story, not interested in Chadwick Boseman. Because I agree, I love Chadwick Boseman. And what's the movie when he was the cop? 21 Bridges. I love him in 21 Bridges. He was phenomenal. And to think he did most of those movies while he was sick.
Yeah.
And you would not know. He gave his all, unless you really focused on his weight. You would not know. He gave, yes, thank you, Pastor Steph, 21 Bridges. He gave his all. Okay, Nika says, when Chadwick did the movie about Jackie Robinson. I was thinking about that also. Yes.
Yeah, he did his thing. But yeah, finish watching James Brown. I'm telling you, phenomenal job, man.
Yes. I definitely, I also have to go back and watch. I don't know if you remember the series Lincoln Heights. This was before Chadwick Boseman, his name was really like popping. He played the main character, the officer. He played his son that he didn't know he had. He didn't know that was his son. And he had went off and went into the war and came back and had this crazy postpartum. It was really good. It was really good. Ma Rainey. Who's that, Pastor Steph? Who's that?
That was some way back in the day when Pastor
You know what you stop? Oh, there was Sidney Poitier. Oh my goodness. Yes, Pastor Steph says, yes, he was phenomenal. He was. He really helped to set the tone in the whole film industry. Hey, thank you for being on with us, Brother Al. Before we go further, let's pull up Pastor Jeff to see who he thinks was a box office breaking actor or actress. Good morning, birthday boy. Well, your birthday was the other day, but it's still in the same week.
Happy birthday. Oh, yeah.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I need you to pray for my wife. I had to rush her to the hospital last night.
Oh, no.
And she's still in the hospital now. She was cooking and cut right through her finger. And they got to do surgery, I guess, this morning.
Wow.
What?
She cut the tendon and whatever. So pray for me because I need her hands.
You know.
I need her hands.
What? Listen, tell Lady Nicole, don't be cutting up. We need her to make all that food she made for 4th of July. She ain't getting out of that, okay?
All right.
If we have to buy a finger to put on her hand, she need to make that food again. Oh no, we would definitely keep her in our prayers. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Oh, good. You know, sometimes you figure like, oh, it's only this one finger, I'll be good. And it's not until you lose mobility or access to those limbs that you realize how often you use it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You been, that's just
I know.
I was about to say, look at Brother Al still recovering. Okay, we have a happy belated birthday, Pastor Jeff.
Thank you.
From Anika. We have from Lady Tamika, praying for your household. I know what it's like to cut while cooking. No joke, so fast. Yes, Pastor Steph says prayers for Pastor Nicole. Yes. Thank you, sir. In the beginning of Chadwick Boseman's career, yes, he was on Lincoln Heights. So, Pastor Jeff,
yes,
you know you love movies as well. Who do you feel was a box office breaker, whether actor or actress?
Well, you know, I gotta go with Denzel, and I gotta go with Training Day, man, because I like that thug stuff he did. You know, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting cases on all of you.
Okay, so Brother Al's favorite of Denzel is Malcolm X, and your favorite Denzel movie is Training Day. Okay, nice. Two really good movies. It's not like I have any opposition. Two really good movies. Okay. Well, Pastor KL should be on with us shortly, but he wouldn't know anything about this area anyway. He'll be watching no movies. Okay, guys. So we have this unfortunate incident that took place with Rob Renner and his wife. This past Sunday, they were found dead in their LA home. Authorities have I believe his son is 32 or 34, early 30s. Their son, Nick, they said they were stabbed to death. He was staying on the parents' property in their guest home. And both parents, Rob Renner and his wife separately, there are reports saying that they both have made claims that they were nervous and scared to be around their son, what he would do to them. I read in another article that they were invited the night before. They were invited out to someone else in the industry was having a gathering, a party. And the wife called and asked, would it be okay if the son came along? Because she didn't want to leave him by himself. Only for the following morning, they're gone. And now you got the other wannabe celebrity who is saying that this death is because Rob Renner had so much to say about him and his team and his tactics and what he's doing, and what do they call it? What hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get the right name. Let me see if I can find it. It's something syndrome, he says, that people have. Derangement. Trump derangement syndrome. Because he has so much criticism against the Trump administration. He had that syndrome, and because of that, it led to his death, this brutal killing. Brother Al, what we got going on here?
He's an idiot. I mean, did anybody expect different? We have a felon in office. We have a criminal. What do you expect?
Yes.
One of the things is, and if you notice it, anybody who got something to say against him, he's like a little kid. He gotta retaliate. He has to say something back. But if you're talking good about him, oh my God, he got everything in the world to do. So that's why the people on his team and his cabinet, they walk on eggshells. Oh, I can't say that. I say that, I'm gonna get fired. Because it don't matter who it is. If you say something against him, he coming for you. That's why I said, his vice president, J.D. Vance, he's very dangerous. Because if you notice in the beginning, he has so much bad stuff to say about Trump. Now all of a sudden, he's your man now because you his vice president. That's very dangerous. But he's like a little kid. You say something, he's not going to, and he don't know when to keep his mouth closed, man. He gotta say something. He gotta say something. Sad.
It is. It's sad and it's ridiculous that, again, you're supposed to be the president of the United States, of this country, and yet you have time to be doing this. Pastor Jeff, what are we doing? You hear about this brutal killing of someone who is a staple in Hollywood. Are you with us, Pastor Jeff?
I'm with you.
Oh, you look frozen. This brutal killing, someone so monumental in this industry. I haven't heard. When I've heard the name, I was like, who's that? And that was one of the ways I started understanding that this isn't someone who was always in the tabloids or something crazy, an upstanding man. He seems to have been, in general, outside of the industry. And now when you talk about his career, monumental character that he played, staple, everyone knows All in the Family. And now you're talking about, well, this was caused because he had something negative to say about me.
Trump is the most I don't know. I don't even got a name for him. Okay, but he is always going to be about him. And I really believe he got some serious mental illness going on. All right, that Alzheimer or whatever. Okay, and he's a childlike in his mind. Okay, and he's done wrong so long that he's jealous of anybody who has positively, done something with their life. I used to think it was just blacks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's anybody who's done better than him. You understand? Because his whole life was just a mess and still a mess.
Right.
Nothing he did was good. He got so much corruptness. Any money he made was not good money. He couldn't make it good money.
Right.
So I expect anything to come from him.
Ridiculous.
And the people that really support him, that boggles my mind. Because clear as day, this guy is totally corrupt. Totally. I mean, I'm not saying that Biden was a good guy or Kamala was a good woman, because I don't like Kamala. You know what I'm saying? But Trump is the worst. You understand? So I expect anything to come out of his mouth, especially with anybody positive. And if you do anything against him, you understand? He's a child. He's got a like a 5-year-old mentality. But I know 5-year-olds that are more mature than him.
Right? Where they don't make everything about them. Oh, that happened because you pointed at me. Oh, that happened because you didn't vote for me. Oh, that happened because you did. Because you're it's just too much. I agree. It's just because I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, so this is why this happened to you. It becomes too much. Well, let's say good morning to Pastor KL. Good morning, Pastor KL.
Good morning. First of all, I'm offended that you think that I don't know who Denzel Washington is, and I don't watch any of his movies. Okay,
that's not what I said.
I'm offended. So I'm just gonna tell you, I got 2 favorite movies. 1 is A Soldier Story, and 2 is Glory. You know what A Soldier Story is?
Yes, that okay. Denzel Washington in both of those, right?
Yes.
That's not what I asked. I'm sorry, that's not what I said. I said that you could not give your favorite actor or actress who broke box office records. I asked the gentleman who their favorite was. I didn't give them an actor or actress.
Okay, I missed that part.
So are you able to give me an actor or actress outside of Denzel?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. Will Smith, who I don't like, but he, he had box office breakouts.
You know what? I said who you like. Yeah.
No, nobody that I like. No, just Denzel. I'm sorry. Oh, Morgan Freeman, I like him.
Okay, we did. All right, they did mention Morgan Freeman. Okay, what's your favorite Morgan Freeman movie?
Lean on Me.
Yeah, that's my favorite from him as well. Pastor Steph says A Soldier Story was the bomb. Yes, that's one of her favorite movies. I know
that's my favorite.
Yeah, I know that movie because of her. So yes, really good movie. So Pastor KL, you have the death of Rob Reiner, who according to this wannabe celebrity is because he had so much to say, and Rob Reiner was suffering from Trump derangement syndrome because he always had something to say about Trump, and that's why he's no longer here with us.
Yeah, that's pretty sad conclusion. He had the right to his own opinion. The sad thing out of this whole thing is that I don't think I've heard yet is that I believe because Trump thinks the son is now a hero, he's gonna get him off or try to get him off. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the sad part about the whole thing.
That'll be disgusting. That would be really disgusting. Because I'm like, you saying all of this is giving, you put hits out on people.
Right.
So, it's like, oh, well, that happened because you had something bad to say about me. That sounds like you you would just be putting a hit out on anyone you ever heard. And since you love being on social media, anything you ever read that's against you, you're not gonna put a hit out on the person or on the people. That's saying to me. It's just again, I say, how do we have time to do this if we're supposed to be running the country? I just don't. I don't know who got time to care about who's liking who if I'm supposed to be running the country. This is why you keep getting things said about you. So what do you think is going to get said about you now? What do you think people are going to say now? When they have been they documented that Republicans, people who were Trump followers, they're separating themselves from him now because of these statements alone. And I think too, it has a lot to do with what Pastor Jeff said. When Pastor Jeff said, I thought he was just coming for the blacks, but no, it's like anybody can get it. So now you showing me, but again, this ain't surprising because he showed us this when he was in the last term. Lady Tamika says, I think Trump suffers like a Smurf, like a Smurf. Everything is Smurfastic and Smurf that. Trump this and Trump that. Yes. Just narcissism at its best. Everything ends up being about him. Terrence says they're not going to say nothing to Trump because nothing will shock the people. If anything he does now, it's like the new normal with his dumb self. Until he started killing off Republicans. And then maybe he'll be worthy of some real jail time. I don't know. Okay, so we have this unfortunate Brown University in Rhode Island shooting this past Sunday. Students were in study session, minding their business, taking their finals. And this former student goes in there and just starts shooting, kills 2, injuring 9. William said, and of course, there's just a whole lot of now, because despite what college you're going to, for the most part, all of these universities take their finals at the same time. So they arrested someone else, a 25-year-old man initially at first, but come to find out they didn't have anything to stick with him, so they had to let him go. And after doing further research, and they found this surveillance footage, they were able to apprehend this suspect. Let me see if I can get his name again, because his name is rather long. His name, he is... "48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valente." You got a name that long, you ain't got no business committing no crimes. Okay, they're saying that he's also suspected for being the gunman for shooting a professor at MIT 2 days later. And they're saying that he went to school with that professor as well. So I don't know if he's on some... Well, he was on, because they found him dead this past Thursday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So he took himself out. But he was able to migrate here on some type of visa lottery program that was provided through Secretary of Homeland Security. So due to this, now they've been directed to pause said program, because now it's like, we don't know who we letting over here. But isn't that what we were saying from before? Brother Al, you can't sit in the classroom and take your finals in peace.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You gotta sit there while you're taking your finals. You gotta watch the back. You like this. You got to look around. That's and you know what? And I hate to say it like that, but just being honest, these shooters are never us. Look, we don't want to be in school anyway, so we don't want to be there anyway. But we ain't trying to shoot nobody out. You know what I'm saying?
Right? As many forms I need to fill out for this financial aid.
Yeah, I just fill out all these forms. I'm gonna shoot something up. I'm gonna go to jail and still owe this money. Nah, we're not doing that. Oh, sir.
That is so true. That is so true. You go to jail still owing the university. Yeah. You done paid your debt to society, come out, and they say you're going to okay, well, you still owe the $75,000.
And then the interest. So by the time I get out now, I done did time for something dumb. I'm out now. I don't have no job, no nothing, and I owe the state $400,000. This ain't gonna work.
Oh my gosh, Pastor Jeff, what we doing when we can't even be safe in school taking a test? Wait, are you muted, Pastor Jeff? You're muted.
I said that stuff really bothers me because my granddaughter, she's in her freshman year in college, and you can't go to school. You got to worry. You got about your kids there. All of that, man. I mean, this world is crazy. That's why you got to plead the blood over them. The only protection you have is God. It's the Lord. Got to plead the blood over them, man, because it's crazy, man. These folks is just, I'm glad the man went ahead and killed himself, though. I mean, I hate to say it because a lot of times they'll sit on death row and all that and be forgiven and go to heaven after they done killed everybody. I know it's sad to say, but he went to hell with blazing drawers on,
Oh my God. Oh God. Pastor KO, is he going to heaven?
I'll try to figure out what Bible he reads. But
I said, he ain't going to heaven. I said, that's the point. He killed himself. So after he killed those people, so he on his way to hell. And so I know justice, he's going to get justice. But I'm mad at the ones that sit on death row after they kill everybody in the school and all these little kids and everything else. And then they give their life to the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like Jonah.
Oh God.
What we got going?
My question was he being deported? Did they? I told the story of here. A guy got all the way to his finals, and Trump came and got him. So he never graduated, but he was in his last year. So I mean, was this the case? But he's one of them other kinds who build walls, according to his name. You know what I mean? What was his frustration? I agree with Pastor Jeff. You got to plead the blood, or you might be in your own blood. But this is crazy. We don't know who's coming over here, and then once you get here, we got a suspect. We got a guess.
And this is just another argument for Trump. To use. You just gave Trump another bullet to shoot.
Right. And that's where it said in the article as well. The one who's over the program, like facilitating the program where he got the visa lottery, she said now pretty much like now I gotta listen to Trump and pause this, and it may get eliminated. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it was saying. She's like, well, I'm saying we gotta pause this, and in addition, Trump been already, like you said, in cahoots with trying to stop this altogether anyway. So like you said, so now, thank you, giving him a reason to believe he is always right for what he's saying. Now I gotta say, and I have to listen because we can't keep taking this gamble. You got, even if you weren't one of the students who were injured and you weren't one of the students who met your fatality, that is traumatizing. That is, we knew someone who initially brought the story to me, and her daughter is in college, and she said, had she been still like in school during the finals, because she went home by that time for the break. She said, I would have went and got her. No, final done. And that school ain't nowhere near Rhode Island. But still, it's just too much. How am I supposed to now take, and not only that, this is not the first school shooting. So even if I'm studying school in New York and this happened with someone studying school in California, how you gonna criticize me for now being a little uptight because I'm sitting in the classroom too. I'm taking a final too. Like Brother Al said, now I gotta keep looking over my shoulder. God forbid someone asks me for a pencil and I say I don't want to share. Now you might shank me and all that. It just becomes too much. It becomes way too much. Pastor Steph is laughing at you, Brother Al. Jail term and federal school loans. He's mad that they gave their life to the Lord. Laughing at you, Pastor Jeff. Because says no place is safe, not school or churches. The enemy is trying to be everywhere.
Now,
in everything.
It may work in your favor in the school, because I'm at the school, there's been a shooting. I ain't paying off no law. Listen, I was trying to study. I was on nobody, and they start up stuff. I don't deserve to have to pay anything. Give me free tuition, I'll come back.
Everybody should have passed their final. Everybody should have passed it. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody should have passed it. You know what I mean?
That's where black folks capitalize. You know, one of the white folks come shoot up. Hey, listen, all I did, I struggled to get this money to pay you guys. I shouldn't have to pay no more now. Shouldn't have to pay nothing.
They need your tuition, Brother Al, to hire security. Well, you
all security. Just take away the law.
And that's what I don't understand either. How many more school shootings are going to have to take place before you start implementing armed guards in these institutions? Elementary schools, daycare centers. It doesn't matter. Like, why are they not doing this? You see someone there in a school safety uniform, maybe with the whistle.
Don't forget the flashlight.
Right. What does that do? It's the daytime. What you need the flashlight for? Right. It's the daytime. We need a flashlight for. It's like, how many times is this going to have to happen for someone to say, I know, let's put qualified armed guards in these schools, in these educational institutions. So we used to go to Red Lobster by my house back in the day, and there was an armed guard in there. My grandma used to always walk up to him and say, what be going on in here that you need this gun? And it was a good question. That's what I used to say. Now we in here, everybody breaking lobster and eating shrimp and cheddar bay biscuits and all that. But you standing there with a serious face on, looking like one of Malcolm X Muslims with this with this gun on your hip. This is turned into a hostile situation.
Just in case.
But he was in there. Right, but he was in there faithfully. And I'm gonna tell you how times have changed. You see now, cops are on their phones and all of that. When I say attentive, because even when she would ask him and they would engage in whatever small conversation, his attentiveness was still with the surroundings. Still, it wasn't this last days ago, or I'm talking to, a guest. No, it was serious in there. So you'll do that in Red Lobster, but you won't do that. I told y'all, I go to get my glasses, and there's a guy in there with this thick bulletproof vest. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to switch where I get my glasses, because if this is needed in here, I don't want to be in here, and they're gonna have to test.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. How safe do you feel sitting at Red Lobster breaking bread, and there's a guy with a gun over your shoulder? I'm not going in that building. I'm sorry. There's nothing in there that them biscuits are not that good that I have to take a chance. Because that's what you're saying. Take a chance, but we got protection. No, I'm not doing that. I make my own biscuits.
You grew up in the hood, you used to that. I go in there give my hot dog. How you doing, bro? Sir, go sit down. No problem, man. Watch over me while I eat these biscuits.
That's what I'm about to say. We definitely to that table. My grandmother asked that on our way to the table. Definitely asked. And that Red Lobster stay packed. No matter what time of the year, it was always packed. And he was always in there with that loaded gun. So yeah, so I don't.
Shontyce, it comes down on a serious side. It comes down to the money. I give you a perfect example. Just at my school, right? Cops don't come around and let something go down. So you got these school agents, and I'm not mad at them. They don't have nothing but some handcuffs. They ain't got no billy club. They ain't got nothing. Handcuffs, and they got a flashlight. Okay. When our kids are dismissed, I don't want to start it. When our kids dismissed, they go out and walk down to Dunkin' Donuts. I started going down to Dunkin' Donuts, me and a couple of guys, making sure that the kids get on the bus and go home safe, then we walk back. But here's the sad thing. This is what defers some people, because they think I'm crazy because I do it. But if I go out there and there is a fight, and I go to break up that fight, and I get injured or hurt, they turn their back, well, it ain't in your contract. You shouldn't have been down there.
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I look past that. I'm like, you know, I want these kids to be safe. And so I walked down there, and we had some parents, and I had to get at some of our parents. They was like, "Oh, well, there's nobody outside." Didn't I explain to the pastor? But let me explain something to you. I said, number one, we're not even supposed to be outside, which is sad. Because if I get hurt, I could lose my job. They not paying me. They're gonna say, well, it's not in his contract. He should not have been out there. And I told them, I said, instead of relying on us, some of y'all, especially the men, because we had a Father's Day, a whole bunch of fathers came through. I said, those of you who are not working, who are not, or get off early, why don't you come out here and help us? Help us patrol. Help us patrol. Don't just look at us and do it. We got 900 kids. I can't watch all.
Right.
You know,
right.
I make money. I got 900 kids. I can't watch all. If you've been handling
no, it's true.
That's the problem. The money when they think about getting paid, because at my school where I graduated, Livingstone, they got the police department now doing security at the school. The police department is scheduled there, but they do need that.
They do, and I don't understand how you don't have that. How don't you have that in place? And as you were saying that, Brother Al, it's true because last year or a year and a half ago, there was an incident in Queens where a student left school, a high school student left school. Someone followed him home. He took the bus, got off his bus stop to walk home. They got off the bus with him and stabbed him in the head.
It's crazy. Stabbed
him in the head. So last I read on it, he didn't die, thank God. But just the trauma, again, that having to look over your shoulder, again, you figuring you're safe. You're a little safer because I'm off of school grounds. So if I do have beef that I know of, if I have beef that I don't know of, I'm a lot closer to home now. I'm good. I done took the bus. Who's taking the bus with me? Now they're taking the bus with you and you don't even know. Let's say he was just walking. He wasn't running. It wasn't no argument like they were about to fight or started fighting, and in the midst of the fight, or they were getting ready to fight, he got stabbed. He was walking. Next thing he knew, they ran up behind him and stabbed him in the head. Another set of teenagers.
These kids are crazy. They'll come to your house. I've seen kids go to people's house. I'm like, are you serious? You're going to somebody's house? I wish you would come to my door.
Not now. You talk about you got a right to carry in New York now, because that's what they always used to say before. Don't come to my house. Don't come to my job. I don't care where you want to confront me. Don't come to my house and don't come to my job. So I don't. Pastor Steph says New Jack City quote. Which one, Pastor Steph? Because a few quotes come to mind. What you said?
I said, I got 900 kids. I can't watch them all by myself.
Oh, yeah.
If you was handling your business.
Handling your business. Yes. Allen Payne, New Jack City. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We definitely have to see, how are we standing up, and the story with Rob Renner, and now talking about this, it made me think about standing up for God, and God needs us to speak. Do I say what God needs me to say? From what I've been reading in regards to Rob Renner, anything he said it said he's a Democratic advocate. What do advocates do? They speak on behalf of their peers, of their people. They speak on behalf of injustice. They speak on behalf of things that they see can be done better. They promote things that are going as great. They speak about things that need to be improved and highlighted why it needs to be improved and so on. So that's a job of an advocate. And if you're on the opposite side of said advocate, then that's your business. That has nothing to do with the individual. And I always say, okay, so you don't want anyone saying anything to you. Have you taken the time to evaluate what you're doing that they're talking about? No one takes the time to do that. So when we speak about what it means to speak up for God, I think about spiritual boldness, of course. And speaking up for God means proclaiming truth and gospel. It means defending the vulnerable. Speaking out for the poor, oppressed, and defenseless, as commanded in Proverbs 31:8-9, using your voice for justice. Pastor Jeff.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So they're saying when it comes up to, do I say what God needs me to say? Do I have that spiritual boldness? Do I speak up for God? One of the points they touch on is defending the vulnerable, speaking out for the poor, the oppressed, the defenseless, and commanded in Proverbs 31:8-9, using your voice for justice.
And what's the question?
Do you do that? Do that, and how?
Huh?
Do you do it, and how do you do it?
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
God, I can get it. I that's my whole persona. I'm always fighting for the underdog. My heart with God constantly, but even as a kid, I couldn't stand nobody getting bullied. And I'd jump in and couldn't even beat the bully, but I couldn't stand to see it. And I'd end up in the midst, so that's just my whole persona. So yeah, I do it.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Al. Speaking up for the poor, the oppressed, and the defenseless, using your voice for justice on God's behalf.
All the time, especially in the school. That one kid that don't have no friends, I become that child's friend. That's when they already know, you better leave him alone, or you better leave her alone. So I'm all the time, even when like I said, on Sundays when me and Tamika are homeless, and I speak up. I see somebody trying to bother them, like, yo, go ahead, get out of here. That could be you. So I'm always.
Thank you, Pastor KL. Speaking up for the poor, the oppressed, and the defenseless, making sure your voice is standing up for God's justice.
I think that's a great thing. For those of you who are old enough to know the Flintstones, there was a song that says, "I love you, but I ain't gonna be no fool. I'm gonna stick up for you, but I ain't gonna be no fool." There are people who, as Al was talking about, who's in a position where, they're helpless. Yeah, I'm gonna help you. But some folks just antagonize the situation, and when they see that they can't win, they need help. You got those folks who are only bad when their friends are around. They talk a bunch of junk when they know Al and Jeff is behind them. You know what I mean? But then when they in behind them, they ain't got nothing to say. They become helpless. No, I'm not playing with you. I don't mind helping the poor and helping the people who are helpless. But if you light the fire, I ain't putting it out.
As you were talking, Pastor KL, you may not know this one either, but it made me think about Bishop on Juice.
I don't know that. I'm sorry. But God bless the bishop.
What she said?
I said, God bless the bishop. Was he a man of God?
That's about having you removed until you watch these movies. Because we don't normally talk to people that don't know the black classics now.
I told Pastor Steph in the beginning, I do not watch black movies. I told her that in the beginning.
We gotta have a meeting with Jesus. I don't know about this. Because even Jesus didn't saw it. We know, as you were saying, that's exactly what, and I'm sure Brother Allen and Pastor Jeff and everyone else knows, too, we watching that. That's all he did in that movie. Even after he got to where he wanted to buck up because he finally killed somebody, he killed a few people, he still didn't have that battery put in his back until he saw his friends who he thought was going to help him antagonize, especially that local neighborhood crew. And it's like, but you're supposed to be this big bad person now. You done killed one of your best friends. You done shot the store owner. You done did all of this. But yet you still a punk until you see the same friends you're trying to intimidate. Until you see them coming, now you want to buff your chest up and all of that. That's crazy.
A lot of men.
Yeah.
So I guess Bishop wasn't a man of God, huh? That was just his name.
No, sir, that was just his name.
That
was just his name.
He needs to be removed. Okay,
Let's do it.
I'll really quick. I would like to read the verses that they referenced in with that quote that they associated with that bullet point. Open Proverbs 31, 8-9. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are unfortunate and defenseless. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and administer justice for the afflicted and needy. That's definitely something that each of you gentlemen spoke on. Okay, so another point that they're giving, and do I say what God needs me to say? Courage over comfort. Choosing bravery to act and speak for what's right, even against popular opinion, drawing strength from faith. Brother Al.
Drawing strength from faith. It's a beautiful thing. You know, you gotta trust in your faith. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Pastor Jeff.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
Pick me. Let me save them.
okay, so we're gonna come back to Pastor Jeff and Brother Al. So courage over comfort, choosing bravery to act and speak for what's right, even against popular opinion, drawing strength from faith. Pastor KL.
Yeah, it's very, very, very important. And sometimes, you're in a position where you're asking a question. Should I comment? Should I say something? But again, when we're talking about God, when God has placed it in you to speak about something, you can't question that. Because when you don't do it, as I often say, then if something happens to Brother Al that I was supposed to warn him from, and something happens to him because I didn't warn him, then the blood is on my hands. So not only is Al in a dangerous place, but I've placed myself as well as in a dangerous place because I've been disobedient. And disobedience is unto witchcraft. So you have to be careful, that you do as God tells you to do. And God is not going to send you without equipping you, without covering you from that thing that you are afraid of.
Preacher.
Oh, I can't.
I had to save my brothers.
Yeah, what he said.
You know what? But hearing that makes me think of when God says biblically to have on that moral courage. And that made me think of Matthew 10:32, when Jesus says, stand up for me against your opinion, and I'll stand up for you before my Father in heaven. So again, everything we say, do, talk about, don't do, everything can be directed right back to the word of God, because his word is living. And when you need to make sure that you are letting go of what's comfortable and putting on that moral courage and choosing to speak up, sometimes I need the opposite side. I need to shut up. But I'm like, no, I see that ain't right. I gotta say that. No, I see that ain't right. I gotta say that. Especially if it's around people who I see are not speaking up for themselves for whatever the reason. And after a while, like, you don't always have to be the one to say it. Then stop. And if God wants to raise someone else to start saying it, but they always relying on you to say it, they're never going to step up and start saying it.
Good point. I was about to say, because it's not always for you to do. Just because you see it doesn't mean it's for you to say it. Because sometimes God will put somebody in a position for them to overcome it themselves. And you can't always be the person to save them from it, because then they'll never save themselves when you're not around.
There's been a whole lot this past year. And I'm just like, so I don't say nothing about that either, Jesus. I don't say nothing about that. So I just let that go over, Jesus. Even things that have to do with me. It's not always with other people. But it's like, no. And then, sometimes after a while, it's like people are so used to you being the one saying something. So now it just kind of like goes over people's head. You could be saying some things that need to be heard, but because they're always used to hearing your voice, it's just like, whatever. I was like, okay, go ahead. I want to jump off a bridge. Absolutely. I hope you have fun. Go ahead. Let me know how it went. It's just like, it becomes too much for me at some time. No, but not too much. But it becomes annoying after a while. You know, especially when you talk about people who they made a conscious decision to not want to hear any sound counsel. So why am I going to continue to waste my breath? But then it brings me to the verse in Ecclesiastes where God says, I'm giving you what to say to somebody. If you don't tell them what I say and they disobey me, their blood is on your hands. If you give them what I say and they disobey me, you ain't got nothing to do with that because you did what you were supposed to do. So I always try to make sure I keep that verse in the forefront of my mind as well to help me gauge. Because I get to the point where I don't want to say nothing. Again, you can tell me you're doing whatever, and it's
you know how. And you know, Shontyce, while speaking on that, I'm sorry about that. I got a text from you that drew my attention. I didn't hear it fully, but I was put in a situation for the first time in my life. I almost say the first time. I guess I could say the biggest time. I had a friend of mine I grew up with. Man, we've been knowing each other for 40-something years, and he had cancer, and he lived down south, and you know, he basically was dying. And I remember his wife calling me saying, "Listen, you need to come down here and see him." I was thinking about him, and God told me to go down there and get him saved before he passed. And I was very nervous. I'd never done that before, and I got 1,000,001 questions. But Lord, how am I supposed to do this? You know, how I'm gonna get down there, and how I knew, you know, like you said, God will make a way. How I knew it was for me to do, because you look at it. I booked my ticket. I flew down there, right, North Carolina. I booked my ticket on a Thursday. I was leaving Saturday and coming back Sunday. So I booked my ticket on a Thursday. I got my plane ticket, round trip ticket. I got a hotel room, and I got a rental car, and all of that came out to $507. So God made a way. Like, I do what I tell you to do, and cover it. And you know, and I was Tamika went with me, and I was like, well, she said, just like God used you. And it was a beautiful experience, you know. And I'm like, wow, you know, you have to do what he tell you to do. If he's telling you to do something, he's going to work out everything. And not all the time it's going to go away where that person want to hear what you got to say. But you know what? Listen, I did what the Lord told me to. You don't want to hear it? Okay. But, you know, he was really receptive to it. And, you know, I'm sad that he's gone, but it was a beautiful thing. And I remember calling KL and asking him to pray with me, you know, and man, it was just, you know, he was a person, he was in and out because the cancer was really on him. So when we got down there, he didn't recognize people. He would talk to you, he would go out. But when I went into his room, he was like his normal self. He was laughing, he was joking. I'm like, wow. And I just said, well, God, let me know what I'm supposed to say. And he did, and he got saved before he passed away. He got saved that Saturday, and he died on Monday. So I'm like, I wouldn't have did what the Lord said. That's on my hand.
Yep. He says the blood will be on your hands.
I want the blood on my hand. Unless they and I got to choke them out, but I'll do that.
Right. We got our own stuff we got to worry about not being, you know, getting right, so God doesn't hold us accountable for that. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on with us this morning. As Pastor Steph loves to emphasize, you're taking us into a thought-provoking weekend on focusing on, do I say what God needs me to say? Thanking you guys so much. Praying you have a safe, blessed rest of your day. Thank you.
You do the same. Enjoy.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Giving God thanks for all of these tips that he gives us. Do I say what God needs me to say? A lot of times I know I got to make sure it's not me talking, it's God. Then there's times I notice I'm like extra aggressive or extra passionate about something. And I'm like, well, where'd that come from? And it is God. So your discernment always has to be on high. But what also has to be on high is, I'd rather God have to hush up right now, Shontyce, than for him to have to keep pushing me to say something. Because either way, it could be, you know, a little challenging. But there's something said for where you always have that passion and desire to even when it's something that's not quote unquote godly, you know, something that doesn't have to do with God directly, because everything has to do with God. God is in everything. God, except wickedness and evilness, he's not in that. But he has ultimate control over that. You know, but whatever you're talking about, God is right there next to you. He's your first audience member. Whether you're a wicked person, whether you're a godly person, a child of God, whether you're someone who's straddling the fence trying to be lukewarm, you know, at 8 o'clock you're for God, at 8 o'clock and 30 seconds you're back with the devil, at 9 o'clock you're for God, at 9 o'clock and 10 seconds you're back. Like, regardless, God is right there. And he knows you. He already knows if you're going to be wavering. He already knows if you're going to be faithful. He already knows if you're going to play for the opposite side. He already knows. But, you know, that the actor, Renner, he was speaking on what he believed in. Respectfully. Still doing his work, doing his job, but speaking on the injustice. And if enough of us spoke on the injustice, if enough of us was willing to stand up for what we know to be good, for like Jesus said in Matthew 10:32, that's a verse, right? I don't want to be spoken. Yes, Matthew 10:32. Stand up for me against world opinion, and I will stand up for you before the Father. Not against the Father, before the Father. I will be willing to continue to be the propitiation for your sins. I'll be willing to, when it's time, when God sends me back, make sure your name is called, because you always stood up for me. Because you're not going to be always standing up for Jesus and be a sinner. Like that. How does that work? It doesn't. Because standing up for Jesus means standing up for God's commandments, standing up for God's precepts, standing up for God's morals and standards, standing up for God's righteousness. How you doing all of that, but you live in the opposite? I mean, you can, but it's really hard. Then you're not really standing up for him. You're just speaking it. Standing up means living out. Stand up for me. Standing up isn't always verbal. It's also what I show in my lifestyle, in my actions. Do I still party? Do I still drink? Do I still curse? Do I still scam in this way? Do I still lack integrity in that area? Do I still? No, especially when you're around people who knew you when. Let me tell you something about people who knew you when. It's challenging to be around them sometimes, because a lot of times it's that constant reminder of where you've come from or where you're still trying to come from, because everything doesn't drop at once. Lord, I wish it did. And there's some things you thought you were going to be able to let go, and things you thought was going to be a struggle. And it's the things you thought was going to be a struggle, you was able to just drop that. And the things it's just, you got to pay attention. You got to pay, even when it talks about, do I say what God needs me to say to myself? Again, we spoke the other morning about, do I like me? Loving me, being my best friend, taking care of me. Am I making sure that I'm encouraging myself properly in the Lord? Am I making sure I'm spending time with myself in the Lord? Am I making sure I'm loving myself, taking care of myself in the Lord? Do I say what Shontyce needs to hear? Or do I say a bunch of flowery stuff to myself in the mirror and then walk off and get mad when God checks me for real, for real? No, I've learned to be very transparent with myself. And sometimes I go a little to the extreme and I gotta reel myself back, like, okay, Shontyce, like, I'm about to slap yourself. But again, having that discernment. So speaking up for God, knowing when to speak, knowing the tone in your voice to have, the body mannerisms to display. I pray over all that. I mentioned all that in my prayer. When God needs me to speak to someone, especially when it's someone he knows I don't want to talk to, like, God, why do you keep sending me? No, I don't like them. And then I learned I can't say that, because we're not battling the person we're seeing. We're battling the powers and principalities and darkness of the world that's unseen. So I don't like what that person represents, who that person represents. I don't like what they do. But still, you're not just asking me to pray for them, you're asking me to pray with them. You're not just asking me to talk about them to you, you're asking me to talk to them. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, God, this feeling is mutual. They don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to them. How about we just talk, we just both talk to you separately, and you allow us to talk to each other through you? But it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Am I willing to say what God needs me to say? And God revealed to me a different aspect of popularity through that. I was never the type that cared about being popular. Everyone knows my name. Everyone wants to be around me. I've always had a very small circle in school. I've always had a very small circle of friends growing up as an adult. As long as I had me and my core people, I was good. I didn't need to go everywhere and everybody know my name, and I ain't need all that. But God showed me, when you care so much about being relevant to even that one person, you do care about popularity. See, we think about popularity in the mass. Like, I'm that person in high school. I'm that person on my job. I'm that person in my neighborhood. I'm that person wherever I go. I'm that person on social media. I got this many followers. I got that. That's not the end all and be all of popularity. It's also when you're so fixated on getting this person's attention, this person, you want to be the center for that person. That's popularity. That's dangerous. You have to teach me that. And I was like, wow. So I had to stop saying I don't care about being popular. I did care about being popular. And when you care about being popular, regardless of the level, you hesitate on saying the things God needs you to say. Because I told y'all, I said this, I think it was a few weeks ago here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph. God says, I'm cool with someone, right? We vibing. It could be whatever, work relationship, intimate relationship, social relationship, whatever. I'm cool. The second God is like, I need you to tell him this, I'm like, well, there goes that relationship. All right. In my mind, relationship is done. Because no one wants to hear God. Everyone wants to hear what's tantalizing to the ear. That's in the word of God as well. Everyone wants to hear the flowery things. God doesn't give me, tell someone they're about to get $300. Tell someone they're about to get that new car. Tell someone they're about to get a better job. I don't get that to give to people. I get, tell them stop using that word because what they don't understand is that they're against me even though they think they are. I get those things. I get, tell them they need to start coming to church or nothing's going to work for them. Those are the type of messages I get to give to people. Who wants to hear that? Who hasn't already wrapped their head around accepting Jesus as their Lord and Savior wants to hear that. So already that starts to draw a wedge between me and the person. Because at that point, I have to then remind them of the why behind why I'm in their life. We meet and we vibe out. We see that our personalities click. We might like a lot of the same shows, a lot of the same activities, outings. We good. We vibing. Talk on the phone. We laugh. We do all of this. Invite you over to dinner. All that. We go out to eat. Go to movies. We chill. Oh, that's cool. The second I gotta now give you this message from God, the whole tone and vibe of the relationship, the whole trajectory just switches. It's almost like before that the light is on, and then after that the light gets cut off. That's like how drastic the difference is that quick. See how quick you just flip the light on and light bulb goes off, on. That's like, and if you're that type of person that you can get shut off and shut down like that, the second God needs to say something to you, you really need to check yourself. Especially if you call yourself a child of God, a godly person, a Jesus follower, a disciple, a minister, a pastor, an evangelist, an elder, a bishop. If your mood and your tone and everything gets switched that quick, you got to analyze that. Analyze that. So it can be real challenging a lot of the times to say, and that's why Jesus gives us that promise. You stand up for me against what the world says, I'm going to make sure I got you where it really matters. What they say here about you, it may hurt, it may bother you, may feel uncomfortable. You may not care. But what really matters is what God says about you. And God has given me the job of coming to him. Not that he don't know, but he's given me the job of coming to him and petitioning for you. You can't talk to him the way I do. You don't have access to God the way I do. You got to go through me to get to God. Like this, it's like, come on, we got to pay attention. So making sure that we stand up for God, making sure that we stand up for Jesus, against world's opinion. And just like I had to say to someone recently, when you really sit and analyze what you're willing to give up Jesus for, I'm noticing this world has less and less and less to offer. But the way they try to make it look and sound is like, okay, that's it. I'm supposed to give up him for that? No. So make sure that you stay spiritually bold for God. Walk around with that moral courage so that you can be on point for the Lord. Okay? You're watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. We've been together all week. Y'all make sure you continue to tune in next week, God Spares, live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, do not forget to hit that red subscribe button. Tell a friend, DM a friend, message a friend to come on and hit that red subscribe button. That way you get the notification bells as to any time we go on. It's Due Time with Pastor Steph is not the only show here on this network channel. We're the only one here in the morning. But make sure you tune in with us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, ACW Media Network. Make sure you contact Pastor Steph and follow her. Like her on Facebook, Coach for Christian Life, the number 4. Listen. Have y'all been contacting her? Have you? Pastor Steph, is it the number 4 or the word 4? It's the word 4. It's the word 4, I'm sorry. Coach for Christian Life on Facebook. COACHFOR Christian Life on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button. Stay updated with Pastor Steph and everything she's doing, even when she's not on here live with you. Okay, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be with you all this week, assisting you with getting your morning started off great. God Spares next Monday is Shaking the Monday Morning Blues. Pastor Steph will be on, maybe even Sunday night. The Word Prayer Project. She may be on Sunday night. But again, make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when we go on, when Pastor Steph is on. Making sure you focus on Jesus above as he's petitioning for you. Making sure that you focusing on him. Wait, Pastor Steph just said something. Wait, I'm not sure what that means. But thanking God for being on with us. Thanking you, Pastor Steph, for entrusting me. Thanking God for entrusting me for being on. And Pastor Steph being able to join us throughout the week. Again, make sure you focus on God. Don't focus on what you want to do, because he's going to make sure everything is turned around for you, okay? So again, until next Monday, where it's Shaking the Monday Morning Blues, make sure you tune in. God Spares. Have a wonderful, peaceful, relaxing weekend. I love you.